All right. And here's another conversation to have. It is so important to plan, man. Like it is important to plan and then to execute. First, before you plan, you gotta know who you are, what you are, and where you want to go. Um, like man, like for a long time, like I know one thing: if you don't plan and you just live your life every day, um, wildly or not even just wildly, but unorganized or not planned, you know what I'm saying? You're just gonna go based off of how you feel. So now you're going basically off of your stomach. You know what I mean? If you're hungry or not. That is important. But I think to plan for the better, to plan for the future, plan for the futures. When I mean the futures, I mean like generations beyond generations. I think that's one of the most important things. And when it comes to planning and stuff, it's just like you really got to realize your environment can either help you promote, excuse me, can help you to grow, or do the opposite, unfortunately. And some people, unfortunately, they don't either make it out of their environment because they didn't have the education or the knowledge that they needed and they didn't apply it or they didn't know how to apply it. And that's why having a mentor is so important. Um, Mentorship is important, man, especially if you want something and maybe your parents didn't learn it. There's nothing wrong with going out and get a mentor. Um, your parents are not going to be able to give you everything that you want sometimes. Sometimes you realize that you appreciate the things that you have, because I do, and appreciate my parents and I appreciate the things that they were able to provide for me. But I realized there was there was a weakness somewhere, and I wanted to work on that. And as I was working on it, I realized, man, if I had somebody who already has it that could really teach me how to get it after learning the ways and things, that I would actually be able to learn these things at a more efficient rate and faster. It's like leverage, you know what I'm saying? Like has anybody ever, or I know for me, in comparisons, and I'm gonna use an analogy. I'm gonna give you an example of what it means to have some type of leverage. Like if you're trying to take your wheel off of a car, and the nuts and the studs are and the nuts and the studs are rusted, you gotta spray some WD-40 up there. And then if you try to use a small or a small wrench or a four way that's not that long, sometimes you got to put a pipe on it, and that pipe that extension, it gives you leverage. And then a lot of 9 times out of 10, you can get that bolt off, or you can get that nut off, and it'll come right on off because you have leverage, and it took less time and it took less work. So sometimes, a lot of times, mentorship is needed in order to get things at a timely, in a timely manner. Instead of taking 10 years, you might take 1 year. And but like I said though, uh, man, sometimes you really do have to know how to ask for help too. You have to also learn how to hunt for help or go find it. And there's nothing wrong with getting help with acquiring the things that you desire from people who already have it. And it's going to be up to you whether or not you apply these things. But planning is very important. Like if you're able to really like dissect your time and really categorize it, or just look at it this way: if you're able to break it down into minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and maybe even years, and then of course, like I said before, generations after generations and into the future. If you're able to plan your time and what you do with it, that can greatly help you. And it what it does is, man, it really gives you a sense of like secureness, like a sense of security. Instead of being insecure, now I feel more secure that I've been able to plan my days out and execute it and see my results, because I know that if I keep recycling these actions that I've created from planning, I'm gonna number one, I'm gonna get better. You will get better, but I see where all my energy is going, and that it just helps to be able to do that. But like I said, man, planning is really gonna help you like if you're in one of those areas where is low income, or it's like, you're just in a low area, a low state of your life. I'm gonna say, man, you really got to get your mind right. And when I mean get your mind right, a lot of times you do need to put some type of nourishment in your body to even really be able to process, for your brain to have the energy, or the nutrients to be able to process things a certain way. But and that's number one. And I've learned also a couple of plants that can give you these nutrients, like moringa. Um, you know, the cacao butter is another thing. I also want to say, for people who are in those low income places, or don't eat meals every day, or impoverished, or just low on nutrients and malnourished. Moringa is good, and I would say cook all these things, but moringa is good. It doesn't even cost that much. You can go on and buy it wholesale on certain websites, and you can get moringa, and you can eat this, and it will help your body. Um, it will help your body in ways that you didn't think it could. Give you certain nutrients that you really, really needed. And it's considered, I guess, a superfood. Cacao butter is another thing. Get all these things organic. I would suggest getting them organic, because you can do what you want to do. But cacao butter is another thing. I know when I take it, it makes me feel happy. And a lot of the times, you know how you feel down, or you feel like you can't do these things, you can't do that, or you just want to give up or something like that. Cacao butter, man, it helps your days. Like it helps you to smile more, helps you to feel good about yourself, and makes you happy. You know what I mean? They used to call it cocoa butter, but it's actually cacao, because that's the plant it actually comes from. I think it's called Theobroma cacao, and that's one of the names for it, to be specific. But yeah, but putting these things in your body, though, it will help you when it comes to actually wanting to do better, or want to really feel better about yourself. And that way, it's a lot easier to really think, because you will have to think when you're planning, to break these things down in your mind, and to be able to see these things, perceive these things, and be able to imagine these things. It will help to actually use the earth, and the sources and the resources that come from the earth, from the land that we all live on, because we all live on earth, right? So all these resources we need to be using. Um, and like I said, you can buy them wholesale, and it's not even that much money. As soon as you get your money, man, get you some moringa, get you some cow butter. Chia seeds are really good. I know that. What else, man? If I come up with anything else, I might put it in the description or so. But yeah, so physically though, you do have to nourish your body. But like I said, man, plan your days, man. It's gonna increase a level of security within yourself that boosts not only your self esteem, but your confidence as well, after you committed these actions over and over and over again. It's like a hamster wheel, man. Create you a hamster wheel and get to work, like, for real. And imagine when you're planning, and you have this dream, or you have this vision, you have this purpose in sight, in mind. See it to the end, and just keep going. Just keep going. Like, you have the ability to really get and acquire anything that you can think of. Anything you can think of, you can do. And anything that you do does have consequences, good or bad. So when you have a mentor who has already experienced those trial and errors, a lot of chances, like, that's why I said it's gonna the time it takes to get to wherever you want to go with a mentor is going to be less a lot of the time, especially if you have a mentor who is authentic, a mentor who actually has gone through the things that they say, or not even gone through the things that they say, but also shows results. That's really what you want to see too, the results. The results help to give you some sense of not only clarity, but security. But yeah, man, plan your days out, man. I'm gonna keep saying that. Plan, man. And don't want to get caught up too much in the actions that lead to you wasting time. Everybody has 24 hours in a day, and how you use it is up to you. You don't want to get caught in wasting your time. You really want to learn how to create certain habits. And before you even create those habits, you really got to undo those other habits that you do have, that are negative in your life, that are not it's not doing you any good. Um, you got to be able to break that cycle. And I'm not gonna say that is easy, because for a lot of people it's not. For me it wasn't, but I did it. And you will be rewarded. Just be patient, keep cycling, like keep recycling those actions that we planned, and just know, man, you're gonna reach your destination. I promise you. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all for today's. I don't know what I'm gonna call these, man. Talks, discussions, tips, whatever. I don't know, but I'm really just having a real conversation, and I'm being my authentic self. So I'm gonna come up here and do these a lot more. Um, I know I'm in the dark. Sometimes it's light, sometimes it's dark. But like I said, man, just plan, execute, execute, execute. And when you see you need to update it, and pay attention to the details, man, and don't waste your time.